Hello, hello, friends. Welcome, welcome. As you're coming into the live, drop a comment in the chat to let me know that you're here and where you're tuning in from. My name is Jennifer Hill with One Crafty Sister, and I'm here coming to you for the fifth night in a row. I have never gone live this many days in a row in my life. The fifth day in a row to bring you some really awesome Christmas and July projects that were designed as a collaboration with 5 of my friends and I. So we have had so much fun all week long bringing these projects to you. Excuse me. Each day we have been crafting to get crafting with our own customers on our own lives at different times of the day, sharing the same projects every day. So we have been just really having a blast. And I'm just excited to share today that the projects I'm making are designed by one of my very, very best Stampin BFFs. Hi, Amanda. So I don't know about you, but one thing about my crafting time is that I like to craft with fun people. And through the years, and especially with Stampin' Up, I've been able to meet some of the most amazing people in my 13 years as a demonstrator. Customers, other demonstrators, mentors, you name it. I have met so many through the years, and I just feel really blessed by that. And almost 10 years ago, I was in a business training, actually a business training that was hosted by Rhonda Wade, who I'm doing this collaboration with now, kind of full circle. So I was in a business training on hers on how to earn the incentive trip. And it was, I was trying to earn my very first incentive trip with Stampin' Up. And it was something I didn't know how to do. And I took her training and learned the steps, what does it take? What do you have to do? And so I met in that group an amazing group of people, but I met 2 people that since then I have literally been on a constant text chat with for all these years. We have become just the best of friends. We talk every day. We do things for our teams together. We're actually doing, fix this just for a second. We're doing an event together this Saturday, an online event for our teams together. So it's just been a really special friendship that I do not take lightly. I do not take it for granted. I would never have met them if it wasn't for Stampin' Up. So my friend Hattie, who we're making her projects tonight, I would say that her style is always classically elegant. And I'm excited to share those with you tonight. So just as a reminder, this is Christmas in July Stamp Along. I have been making, or Craft Along, I've been making 2 projects every night since Monday. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. is the 6th day. It's the final day of Christmas in July Craft Along, and it will be at 10 a.m. Eastern. I know that might be early for some of you who live on the West Coast, because I've had a lot of West Coast people who have been enjoying the lives, and people who purchase the Craft Along packet who are on the West Coast. So just know that the recording will be there. You can come to my Facebook or my YouTube and you will be able to find the live. If 10 a.m. Eastern is a little too early for you, that is okay. I understand it. I have a card class tomorrow afternoon and a team meeting tomorrow night, so I'm going to be crafting all dang day long. So just as a reminder, these tutorials are available 2 different ways, or 3 different ways. You can purchase the tutorial only of all 12 projects. It's $25. There's a link in the video description for that. You can also still order the Craft Along pack. It comes with 24 sheets of cardstock, 2 half packs of the designer series paper that we're using, a bolt of mossy meadow and gold, beautiful, gorgeous trim ribbon, real red and white baker's twine, any of the die cuts that are needed that are not part of the featured bundles, a pack of gems. You also get the most adorable little basket and some treats and a cute little fun Christmas necklace. and this adorable tag. So lots of love has gone into preparing this packet for you. You can still order that. They will be shipped out next week if you order it now. And let me think what else. Today is the final day of free shipping on orders of $75 or more. So you can place an order, get free shipping, and you'll also earn the tutorials for free. So let's flip the camera down. I have my little basket all full of all the goodies that I need. This is that little basket that was part of the packet, the Craft Along packet. So I have everything in here that I need. Just going to slide that. Well, maybe I'm going to sit it over here today. I'll put it in a different place today. The tutorial, pictures, step-by-step instructions, measurements, you name it, everything you need to be able to recreate these gorgeous projects. So today we are going to start out with a piece of basic beige, which has become one of my favorite colors for a card base, as a neutral card base. So good. We are going to cut it at 4 1/4 by 11. And we are going to score it at 5 1/2. Okay. We also need a piece of basic beige that is scored, that is cut at 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. And we are going to emboss this. We need a piece of Need for Tweed DSP, which, where did I put that? My Need for Tweed is right here. This pattern, same pattern I used on my Pretty in Pink card yesterday. We need a piece that is 5 1/4 by 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this at 1 inch. I love this card that we are making. That's all we need from that. We're going to need 2 of the labels in basic white. These come out of the Jolly Holly bundle. It's these 2 here. So I've already cut those out. And then let's see, I need a piece of basic white that is going to be 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. And I think that's it. Oh, and we have a scrap for some stamping. Okay, that's all the cutting we need to do. Now we do need to emboss a piece. So this piece we are going to emboss with the beautiful Jolly Holly hybrid embossing folder. Hello, Connie. Hi, Debbie from Southwest Michigan. Welcome. Have you been having the heat in Michigan like we have been, Debbie? I've seen that it's been really hot there, and we've been in like around 100, definitely over 100 with the heat index. It has been hot. Okay, we are going to emboss this piece of basic beige using the hybrid embossing folder. So you need just your base plate and then your specialty gray plate. Thank you for sharing the video, Debbie. So we have that beautifully embossed piece. Look at that. So classy. Oops. All right. We do have one other thing we have to cut on our card. So this card base has kind of a neat little feature in that we're going to cut a strip from the card base and we're going to adhere it. A little off on my score line. See if I can fix it. Okay. We are going to cut up on the left side of the card base at 1¼ inch, and we're going to cut all the way up to the score line. Okay, so see how I've cut to 1¼ Yes, Debbie, it has been so humid. I agree. All right, so, and welcome to another Debbie. We are going to go ahead and secure this piece down to our card base. Make sure we get it straight. Okay, like so. So we've secured that down. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to adhere this piece onto this panel here. I'm going to use some of my Tombow liquid glue. And adhere that down. Like so. And now we have our rectangles that we have, and we're going to do some stamping. So we need to, let's see, stamp our sentiment. So we are going to use the Merry Christmas sentiment. The fonts in this stamp set are so kind of swirly and cute. I really love them. So we used the Have a Holly Jolly Christmas yesterday. Today we're using the Merry Christmas. And we are going to stamp those in Cherry Cobbler. And let's see, just making sure we're going to stamp Christmas. And then we're going to stamp the Merry. These are such cute fonts. And they stamp so lovely. Look at how lovely that stamps. All right. Oh, I forgot one of my Stampin' Blends that we needed. We need our Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blends because we are going to take and splatter this. So let me get a little piece of grid paper. We're going to splatter this or speckle it with some Mossy Meadow. Adds a nice touch to it. And then we're going to adhere it to our other label with dimensionals, which I set out of the way so I wouldn't be able to find them. All right. So I said at the beginning that a good name, or I'm kind of giving this, my friend Hattie's style, a name of classic elegance. It doesn't matter what she is making, she always has these just classically elegant designs and layouts. And it just makes me happy to do an event with her. All right, we have some other stamping to do. We are going to stamp some holly, and we're going to stamp some little leaves. So we're going to stamp the holly leaves twice in Mossy Meadow ink. And then we're going to do, oh, that is the wrong color. I just pulled the wrong color out, friends. Let's just flip that over. Okay, we're going to stamp that in Mossy Meadow. I do need that basic beige to stamp the other little leaves. thanks. And then we are going to color in these leaves with our Stampin' blends. So I'm going to take and do some dark shading in the center of these leaves. And then come back in and blend with the lighter color. Edges. So one of the other things I love about my friend Hattie is that she's really funny. She probably doesn't think she is, but she is really funny and makes me laugh all the time. And she has the most precious little boy named Sterling. He starts kindergarten this year, and he's so handsome. And I love her husband as well. So I'm just blessed to have her as one of my Stampin' BFFs. She inspires me. She is a educated and trained occupational therapist, although right now she's not working in that environment because she is being a mom and a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and supporting her I don't mean supporting. She helps her family a lot. So she is a great daughter, niece, cousin, daughter-in-law. All right, so we have those. Oh, Jackie, the embossing folder is the Jolly Holly hybrid embossing folder. It's part of the Jolly Holly bundle that comes like this. So you have all those coordinating pieces. So you can either get it like this, it is a hybrid, or you can get it in the bundle. Very, very pretty. Okay. So now we need to take some of those die cuts out and cut out our images here. So we're going to need the holly die cut and the little stem, little guy there. So set that to the side. Let's go ahead and pull our cut and emboss in here and cut these out. This is a craft along, so I'm doing all the things. I've got some tape up here that I like to use to just hold my pieces in place. So we'll get these cut in 2 swipes. And then we're going to do something, once I get this all done, we're going to do something that when I saw her pictures, I'm like, where did she get that twine? I was like, I don't know where she got that twine. We don't have that twine. Haha. She taught us how to make a custom twine, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Really cool technique coming up in just a minute. And I haven't done that in a while. But it reminds me of this one time that I was at a demonstrator event in, it's either in Michigan or it might have even been, I think it was in Michigan. And we did like this really fun stamping event where we passed, like we were a team and we did different pieces of a card. And we had certain products that we could use to make our card, and not all the products matched. And for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to make this match. So we did have an ink that matched our paper. So I took the ink pad and drug it down the ribbon that did not match to make the ribbon match. And we're going to do that in just a second, but not with an ink pad. Oh, whoa, Miss Maple came to say hi to everyone. Miss Maple, don't you know Mommy is filming right now? How did you even get in here? How did you even get in here, huh? Let's get you off of here. She's the cutest little girl, but she doesn't help. She doesn't help well enough when I'm stamping. And if you saw, I'm going to show you right now what she does. Look, she's a shoulder monkey. She is a monkey. She gets up on my shoulders all the time. Crazy girl. Crazy girl. Okay. No, she's going to stay here. Well, she's not bothering y'all if she's on my stamping table, if you can still see my project. She's not bothering me, but she might get in the way, silly girl. She likes the lights. So she is up here. But you're in the way, little girl. You got to go over there. Go over there. She's like, no. All right, come here. You got to get down. You got to get down, little girl. Sorry. Sorry, baby. Okay, so we have that. We have this. Oh, we need to take and put our designer series paper right here on that little panel that we adhered down. Whoa, don't stick it to your table, Jennifer. So we've got that. Okay, so that's that. And while I'm at it, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the piece on the inside, and then we'll just do all the fun stuff for the front of the card. And I have one more thing to stamp here. We are going to stamp, let's see, cherry cobbler. We're going to stamp our sentiment right here. Ooh. And then we're going to stamp that little sprig again. Remember this sprig? We are going to stamp it again. We need to stamp off though. Where did my little scrap go? Here's my little, I got a little scrap over here. Stamp it off first and then stamp it right in the center. So you get just a little bit of detail behind that sentiment. Can you see that? It's just light, but really pretty. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we've got our pieces stamped. We're going to adhere these pieces to our label. So we're going to add these up here. I'm going to use some glue dots to adhere all the pieces. And then we're going to attach this to our card front. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot one of the ribbon steps. I might have to take this apart. Hold on. Hold on, friends. So I didn't get home from work at a decent time today. Normally what I do is I make these cards before I go live, so I'm prepared and I know exactly what to do. I did not get out of work today until 6:30, which is insane, seeing as how I got there at 7:30 this morning. So I would have remembered this if I would have made it beforehand. So we're going to take a piece of our beautiful ribbon. Let's see. We got to do one other piece first. We're going to set those aside. Remember I told you we are going to make some custom twine. So we have our red and white baker's twine. Okay. And we are going to color it. So I'm going to take a length of it. You want to put it on top of grid paper or something, and you're going to use the brush tip side, and you're going to drag it down your twine. until you get it all colored. You can kind of turn it over if you need to. You can also pull it like this if you hold it down. Pull it like that. This marker is on its last leg, so you can see my nib is kind of rough right now because it's colored a lot of things. So it would be helpful if it was a fresher nib, but I only need probably about 10 inches. So you just want to keep coloring that. Yep, this is the end of this marker's life. Let's see if I have another one. I don't know if I have any more cherry cobbler. I have lots of others, but it doesn't look like I have another cherry cobbler. That's okay. We're going to get through it. I just know to put this on my next order to replace my cherry cobbler blends. And this was definitely roughed up before I did this, so not from this. Probably from a class that I did where a lot of people used and abused. That's what happens. Okay, I think that's long enough. I'm not going to cut it off just in case I need to color a little bit more. But now what you have is a custom piece of cherry cobbler twine. So we are going to take, this is where we had our sentiment on top of, but what we're going to do is take and wrap our green and gold ribbon around it, and then we are going to tie it with this red baker's twine. Let's see, I need a little bit more this way. Oops, we gotta get it. I think what I'm going to do is put a little piece of tape on the back just to hold it in place. That way it won't slide around as I'm doing this. I need a little bit more colored. A little bit longer. That should do it. All right. It dries pretty quick, and you'll notice that your twine gets a little stiff because of it, because of the alcohol ink drying. But the good thing about that is it actually makes it easier to deal with your twine. Okay. Now we can put our sentiment back on there. And trim our ribbons. Look how cute that looks. And then we're going to add this to our card front, but we're going to only attach it to this side. So I'm going to add some adhesive to just this side. So I turned it over to see where I wanted the adhesive. Okay. And now I know that when I turn it over this way, it's going to be adhered in the place that I want it. And now we're going to attach our cute little die cuts. So we're going to start with our little branches. I'm going to put one here. One here. All right. So there is that part. And now we just need to give it some bling. So we are going to take these beautiful, sparkly, what are they called again? Low profile sparkle dots. And we are going to give it some sparkle. Like that. So this, you see, I need to take that piece of tape off that was there. Luckily it's low tack tape. There we go. So you don't see it. So there is our card. You could, Jackie, drag the twine through the ink pad. Yes, you have to let it dry a lot longer because the ink, being a water-based dye ink, takes longer to dry, and the alcohol inks don't take as long to dry. So for the purposes of this video, definitely it was easier to do it this way than to use this ink pad. Otherwise, you could do that if you have time to let it sit and dry after you do that. But yes, you could. If you do that, I recommend using some latex gloves or some kind of gloves to protect your fingers. And you can take and just literally like hold your finger with the glove on the ink pad and drag your twine or ribbon through it. So yeah, you can definitely do that. Just doesn't necessarily work so well for the speed of a video to show you guys. But look how pretty that is. I think I need to adjust this guy. I feel like it needs to be more like over here. Okay, I feel better about that. All right, definitely a pretty card. I love this card. And then on the inside it says, "May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love." Okay, let's move on to card number 2. Card number 2, featuring the Jar of Joy stamp set. So let's get our cardstock out and our designer series paper that we need to cut. So we are going to have a 5.5 by 8.5 card base of real red. So let's go ahead and cut that. Score that at 4.25. We also need a piece of real red at 5.25 by 4. Oops. Excuse me. Do I need to shut the door, Miss Maple? Do I need to shut the door to keep you out? Okay. We need a piece of early espresso that is 3.5 by 4.75. Yep. And then we need some basic white. Let's see, we need 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. 4 and 5/8 by 2 and 5/8. And then we need 4 3/4 3.5. Hi, Sharon. Welcome to watching me live for the first time. I hope you enjoy the projects that we make, and make sure that you go back and watch Monday through Thursday because I've been making projects since Monday night for Christmas in July. All right, so we need, let's see, we need a piece of this paper that is 3 3/8. By 4 5/8. Am I having sound issues? No, but I'm having maple issues. Do you want to come get her? She keeps coming back. She's right here. Daddy came to get Maple. She's the sweetest little girl.
You're not live right now.
Yes, I am live. My husband's like, "You're not live right now, are you?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." It's okay. He didn't realize I was still live. I'm like, 5 1/4 by 2. He usually never ever bothers me. Good morning, Donna from Australia, one of the places that I'm hoping to go to sometime soon, maybe with a Stampin' Up trip sometime. Okay, lots of paper cut. We've got that. And let's see, we need some scraps for stamped images. So let's do some stamping first, and then we will get to assembling. So I did not clean up my stamps over here, so let me do that really quick so I can have my blocks. Otherwise, I won't have any blocks to stamp with. I have lots of blocks, but most of them are at my studio, and I just keep a limited supply here at my house that helps me get through my lives. And we are going to put up all these Holly Jolly stamps really quick. Jolly Holly, Jolly Holly. So let's see. Christmas, Sprig. If you're new to stamping, one of the coolest things about photopolymer stamps is that they are so easy to see through, and you can use them to layer stamps like we've done with the sentiments here this week. Makes it super easy to see when you can see through. Okay, so now we need our jar stamp. Definitely going to need that. We're going to need our cute gingerbread. Let's just get all of our stamps out. The gingerbread detail stamp. We also need our sentiment, this one. And then I think this one for the inside. Is that all? Oh, and the lid. Okay, the little lid. I think that is all the stamps that we need. Oh, one more. One more, the snow. The snow, I missed the snow. Okay, now I think I got it all. Okay, we are going to do our stamping now. We're going to start out by stamping, let's see. We need our jar, and we are going to stamp that in early espresso. I just want to get all these pieces stamped and punched out if necessary. We're going to stamp the cookie in crumb cake. Let's see, how did she do this? Just stamp out the cookie. Okay. So we're stamping the cookie detail. Oh, I don't know if I can do it this way. I have to do it the other way, guys. I have to start. I got so used to starting with the detail stamp, so, or the solid stamp. So I'm going to stamp off and then stamp that one. Ooh, noisy. And then, because I told you, you can take and line up the bow tie and the buttons on the gingerbread man. And when that is lined up, everything else just perfectly aligns. Okay. So we've got that. And we're going to punch that out with our jar punch. Just got kind of warm in my room. Okay, we do need to stamp that lid. While we have the early espresso ink out, we'll stamp it right here. Oops, that was not a good stamp. Okay, and we are going to color it with our real red Stampin' Blend. Let's color that in. Pretty easy to color in. And we're going to punch that out. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Get the punch out of the way. Okay. Let's do that later. Get this out of the way. Okay, so now this is a really neat layout on the front of the card, and I want to make sure that I get it just right. Okay, so we have our card base. We are going to adhere some DSP to our cardstock. Let's see. Let me make sure I have this right. Adhere the DSP paper to the early espresso cardstock layer. That's what it says. Okay, I need to trim one little sliver off this because it's a little, I'm going to get my little chopper out. It's a little too, I just need a sliver. Best trimmer for a sliver. I wish we still sold that little trimmer. I'm sorry to even use it on a video when it's not available to buy. Okay, so we're going to add this. Okay. All right. Just making sure that I'm getting this part right. Because there's a diagonal something. And I thought it was the DSP, but it's not. So, and if you joined a little late, I was telling you guys that I typically have been, this week for this event, I have been creating these ahead of, we designed these as a team. Let me spit my words out. And I would make them after work, and so that I knew exactly what I was doing on the live. But today I didn't get home until very late from work. I stayed really late at work, and so I didn't have that chance. So I'm making sure. Okay, this is what it says to do. I'm making, that's what I read is what it is. So we are going to take our, I can get my twine out. We're going to take our twine and we are going to wrap it around our layer twice. Kind of at an angle, and you'll see why. And then we're going to tie it in a bow. over to the left. Okay. Like that. And then we are going to take our piece of basic white that we have here, and we're going to take our trimmer and at a diagonal, we are going to, let's see, let me read her instructions. With your basic white cardstock, and line up the bottom right corner at the paper trimmer gutter. Bottom right. What I want to do. Okay. All right, I'm pretty sure I'm going for it. I don't know if it's right. It feels right. We'll see. It's a diagonal piece that we are going to put on the top of our card, like so. And although it's a tad too long. How long is this? I need it to be, there we go. Just needed a tiny bit cut off of it. It's just a little too long. I might have cut it wrong when I did it. Okay. So we're going to put this up here on the card. That is okay. This is why you want to do it live ahead of time. I mean, ahead of time before a live, but sometimes you can't. So we're just going to learn together. We are just going to learn together. So we're going to adhere this in place on the top of the card. And our ribbon goes right along there. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment right here. This is a cute diagonal layout. So there is that piece. And now we are going to take that cute little jar. Remember that cute little jar? We're going to add it to this layer right over our twine. Okay, so it's going to be over here so that our bow kind of goes over it. Let me give you guys a little. Thank you, Sharon. Maple is quite adorable, and she knows it. Little squirt. Her sister Clover is adorable as well. She sometimes comes, says hi. She has not come tonight. And she has a bed up in the corner of my bookshelf up here. And so oftentimes she will just go up there and sleep while I do my lives. All right, so we're going to add this right about there. How cute. And then we need to add our little lid. Right here. And we're going to make it look like it's kind of often at an angle or like open, like the jar is open. So we're going to use some mini dimensionals on here. It's just big enough. If you don't have mini dimensionals, you can always trim down your larger foam pieces. Ta-da! Like so. And then we need to add some little snowy pieces. So let's take our crumb cake ink. These are cookie crumbs that we're going to stamp. Instead of snow, these are cookie crumbs. And I'm going to use a scrap piece of paper just to kind of stamp off before I stamp them on. We're just going to go around the top here. Just be careful, since you already have your jar on here, that you don't get anything inked up. Okay. You could stamp that before. It's probably the better way to do it, but I need one more up here. Okay, there we go. I like that. So now we're going to add this onto this layer. Like this. This is going to go on our card front. So this layer is going to be added directly to that piece of real red. And then we're going to add this entire layer to our card front with dimensionals. Now, if you run into hairy edges, I need to, I guess, replace my trimmer blade. Just always have like a little fingernail file in your stash, in your craft stash, and you can just run that across and it takes care of that problem. Easy peasy. And now let's just go ahead and trim all these edges up. And people probably squirm when they watch my videos and I use different scissors on paper. I use the same scissors for like all the things. These are my big scissors. I also have my snips. I'm not really particular about my scissors. I know if I was like sewing, I would need to be a little more particular, but I'm not. So I'm not. But I am about to bring my scissors to a scissor sharpener to have them all cleaned up and sharpened. I found someone in town that does them for about, I think, $8 a piece. I think my big ones might cost a little more because they're bigger blades. But they clean them and sharpen them. All right, so we're going to add this to our card front like so. We're almost done with this. We're going to take our low profile dots and we are going to color some of them. So we're going to take the yellow, I think we should, and color them with our real red Stampin' blends. Let's see, I need some little ones, some big ones. So your Stampin' blends can be used to color all kinds of things. Your twines, your gems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. Is there more on the inside? No. Okay. I'm just looking to make sure I colored enough. We'll see. All right, now we're going to add these to our card front. Super cute way to add color to your card. Okay, so that's the front of our card. And now we just need to make the inside. I feel like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5. Okay, you got to have an odd number. I was like, is that an odd number? We have an odd number. So now for the inside of our card, we have a piece of this beautiful DSP to go on the inside. I think I used the wrong piece of paper for the front. That's why it wasn't the right size. I just realized. Just realized I'm going to have to cut another piece for the inside. Okay, so that's going to go down there on the bottom. That's why that was weird. This is the piece I was supposed to cut. But lucky for me, I have plenty of white cardstock here. So we are going to cut another piece that is 4 3/4. That's why it was 1/8 of an inch off by 3 1/2. Okay, this is going to go right here. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment on the inside. All right, we need our early espresso ink out. Okay, may your heart be filled with joy. And then we're going to take the really adorable ornaments. Didn't have those out. Let me get those out. And I've officially used every stamp in this set when I finished this card. There was one I had not used, but thanks to Hattie, we are using it. And that is this itty bitty bow, which is so cute. It's going to go right at the top of that ornament. Look how cute that is. And then we're going to take our crumb cake and give some of those little cookie crumbs, as I was calling them, around there. Okay. So there is card number 2. Let's just tighten this up a little. So here's card number 1 and card number 2 for night 5 of Christmas in July. So, which one is your favorite? First, I like to know, do you like the Merry Christmas, the Jolly Holly, or the Jar of Joy? Which one is your favorite? I'd like to know, and then I'm going to show you guys, just as a little recap, all the projects that I've made this week. In case you haven't seen them and you're wondering what nights you need to go watch while you're thinking about which one is your favorite, I'm going to grab a drink. Oh, you're welcome, Sharon. Which one is your favorite? So Debbie likes card number 2, the Jar of Joy. So does Donna. She likes the Jar of Joy card. I do love this little angled piece. That's pretty cool. Sharon likes the second one, the Jar of Joy, but she likes them both. Amanda likes the Holly one. Oh, another vote for Holly. All right. Well, let me give you guys, see, Jackie votes for number 1. Donna says they're both lovely cards. Awesome. Let me show you guys what has transpired this week. Okay, so this was tonight. Last night were my cards. If you missed those, here are my cards. I did a non-traditional card using the Jolly Holly. And then I did what I'm calling my farmhouse card with my shiplap. So there's those. The night before, let's see, Wednesday night were my friend Ange McKay's cards, and she made 2 with the Jar of Joy, and I love this texture done with your scoreboard. Cute, using all the 3 jars. And then this really cute texture, full of texture card using that awesome designer series paper. So those were Ange's cards. And then on Tuesday night were my friend Erica Serwin's projects. So we had this fun fold. And I loved this jar and the snowman using the blue colors. Thank you, Sharon. And then this cute box, which has a sleeve of crackers in it, like the little captain's wafers, whatever they are. You can put all kind of things in here. But this was her little box that we made, really cute. And then on night 1, we made Rhonda Wade, my friend and mentor Rhonda Wade. This was her fun fold card, a Z fold. And we made this really cute box that has this outer piece made from the Everyday Arches dies. So look at all these fun projects that have been made this week, and we still have 2 more to go. So I will be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, sharing the last 2 projects for Christmas in July. And those 2 projects are from my other Stampin BFF, Michelle Litwiller. And I'll tell you more about her tomorrow. But I love her projects, and I will tell you that no one can design cards faster than her. That's what I can tell you. She is a designing beast. And all her cards are cute and replicatable. So I'm excited to share her 2 projects with you tomorrow to close out Christmas in July. And just as a reminder, before I head out, tonight is the last chance to secure your free shipping on an order of $75 or more here in the US. If you're in another market, check with your demonstrator. If you're in the South Pacific or Europe, check with your demonstrator. Or if you're a demonstrator, don't miss out on getting your own free shipping in your market. If you'd like the tutorial for all 12 of these projects, those are available to anyone anywhere in the world for $25 US. The link is in the video description. If you're in the US and you would like a craft along packet, I will be mailing out another round of them next week. So that is also available. And I did show that at the beginning of the video if you want to go back and look at that to see what it includes. Lots of good stuff. And you can also get your tutorial for free with a $50 or more purchase. So you should order $75 to get the free shipping, and then you'll get the PDF for free as well. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I hope to see all of you again tomorrow for the last day of Christmas in July. It's been so much fun. And I haven't worn the same shirt for 6 days in a row in a long time. Luckily, I've only been wearing it to film. So, you know, I'm not really a dirty girl, but it looks like I haven't changed my clothes all week long. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys. Bye.